Welcome, Pewter Report readers, listeners, and viewers to another edition of the Pewter Report podcast, energized by Celsius, a victory edition of the Pewter Report podcast, energized by Celsius, as the Bucs defeat the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round of the playoffs, 31-15. I'm John Ledyard from PewterReport.com. With me is Scott Reynolds, also of PewterReport.com. And Scott, we've got a Bucs victory to talk about. We're also taking in the final moments of the Cowboys against the 49ers to see if are the Bucs going to face the Cowboys in the next round as the Cowboys start a drive from their own 15-yard line down 23-17 with 2:40 left in the game. What is going to be the result of this game? We will see. But the Bucs also a victory today over the Philadelphia Eagles. And a game really was never in doubt at all, was it? Never in question, never felt like it was in question at any point.
Well, except by us. We were kind of fretting a little bit before the game, and then the Bucs jump out to a 31-0 lead, as Tony Saylor points out. So much for all those close game predictions. It got close at the end.
I did think it would be closer on the scoreboard,
Yeah, and this game really mirrored so much of what we saw in Week 6, right? The Buccaneers just jump out to a lead offensively, defensively, handling Philadelphia. And then they just allow 15 points in the fourth quarter for absolutely no reason. But yes, this was a huge win for the Buccaneers, and it's so great to see that atmosphere at Raymond James Stadium today, just electric. And for Buccaneer fans to have a home playoff win, something that has not happened since 2002. I mean, right. I was there in 2005 and 2007. The Bucs lost to the Redskins in 2005, and then to the eventual Super Bowl champion Giants in 2007. So for the home fans, this was a long time coming.
Yeah, for sure. No question about it. As the Cowboys, by the way, just crossed into midfield into San Francisco territory on a 38-yard pass to Dalton Schultz as the 49ers lost contained in the pocket. And it's been a very bizarre game here, and we'll keep you kind of abreast of what's going on.
Real quick, John, real quick. So set the table. Why is this game important? If the 49ers win, what happens? If the Cowboys win, what happens?
If the 49ers win, they will go on to play the Green Bay Packers in the next round of the playoffs. And the Bucs will face the winner of the Rams and Cardinals. But on the other side of things, if the Cowboys win, the Bucs will face the Cowboys next week or this upcoming weekend, I guess. And the Packers will face the winner of Rams and Cardinals in that situation. So, big drop, and the 49ers almost picked it off, had a shot at it. It's a 3rd and 11 coming up from the Cowboys from near midfield. But Scott, I think everybody wants to know, like, what's the best outcome for the Bucs? Like, what should happen in this game that's the best outcome for the Bucs?
The best outcome for the Bucs is Tristan Wirfs' right ankle feeling better. That's true. The best outcome for the Buccaneers. No matter who they play, right, John? Yeah. Because let's talk about this real quick. If it's the Cowboys, you're going to have Micah Parsons against Josh Wells often in that game, almost probably on every down basis, right? So that is not a favorable matchup at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, Parsons does play off the ball most of his snaps, but yeah, you're right. Passing downs, at least it'll be ugly. Plus, DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, he was probably, I know he's given up a sack to Mack and a sack to Jordan here and there, but I think Lawrence was the toughest matchup Wirfs has ever faced. And so if the Cowboys win, he's got Lawrence next week.
That's right.
If he plays, if he doesn't, Wells has him, and dear God help us all.
Right.
Randy Gregory off the other side is the exact kind of rusher that gives Donovan Smith issues.
That's right.
So yeah, I think it's kind of low key, big for the Bucs. I mean, obviously you got to play whoever it is.
Yeah.
Darren Donald's going to be his own challenge, and Cardinals have their guys. So either way, it's a challenge, Scott. But I think the Bucs the Cowboys pose the biggest challenge to the Bucs.
Yeah, appreciate the super chat, Andre, very much. We appreciate all the super chats we've gotten so far during this Buccaneers 2021 season. We're still in that, even though it's 2022. It's fun to talk about Bucs football that's actually happening past January 1, because I just remember so many seasons where the Buccaneers season ends with week 16, or actually I should say week 17 after 16 games. Now it's week 18 with 17 games, and this playoff thing is fun. This is 2 years in a row now. The Buccaneers have been active in January. They'll be active one more week. So that's exciting. Listen, for everybody out there that has had the opportunity to give us super chats, we really appreciate that. It goes right back into the podcast that you all enjoy, whether it's updating our equipment, the lighting, making the videos that we do to promote the podcast, everything that you guys are so generous with your donations to give us via super chats goes right back into the podcast you love. There's another way too, because a lot of people aren't signed up for YouTube. There's another way you can give back, and that's donating to Pewter Report via our own website. Go to pewterreport.com/donation, and you can do that. I know we've got several people that send in donations this way, so we're going to promote this again. We appreciate all the support that you guys have donated. The great thing is when you go to pewterreport.com/donation, you're going to have the opportunity there to make a one-time donation as little as $10. That's it, $10. If you can give 25, 50, or 100, that's great too. But you can also become a monthly donor. We're starting our monthly donor program again. For as little as $3 a month, you can give, think of it like an internet tip jar, right? You like John's Bucs briefing, you like my SR's Fab 5, you like our up to the second injury reports from Matt Matera, JC Allen, you like our game coverage, you like the Pewter Report podcast. For as little as $3 a month, you can become a starter. In terms of a monthly donation, the All-Pro level is only $5 a month. For $9, you can be a Hall of Fame donor. So we appreciate any and all donations that you're generous enough to give us. And John, any updates now in that game?
Well, we've got Cowboys have a 4th and 11. They just had an incomplete pass on 3rd and 11 and a hold, but they declined it. And so it's 4th and 11 now for Dallas from the 47-yard line. Interesting to decline it there because it would have put them in 3rd and 21. But now they're going for it on 4th and 11. Obviously, they have to go for it on 4th and 11. It's under 149 left in the game, and the Cowboys have 3 timeouts. So I guess they could punt it, but you're not going to gain much by doing that, obviously. And so here's Dak back to pass, 4th and 11, pressure coming. He throws it up across the middle of the field. Has a guy there. He fell down. And on 4th and 11, the 49ers are going to hold near midfield. The Cowboys do have 3 timeouts, so we'll see what happens.
They'll have to burn it here. They have to get a quick 3 and out.
Yeah,
and speaking of super chats, Brandon, thank you so much for the super chat. Sending y'all super chats was good luck in last year's playoffs. So doing it again, Devin White looked much better today. Thanks to 54. Go Bucs. And John, should we start by just praising the defense for one hell of a performance today?
I think we should. It's funny, Scott. We almost always start with whatever group. If they win, we start with whatever group did the best. If they lose, we start with whatever group did the worst. And this is one of the few games this season where it feels like it's just pretty balanced. Like special teams is great, defense is great, offense is great most of the way. It was a really good game, but it started with the defense. First 3 quarters we'll focus on mainly because I don't know how much stock to put in the 4th quarter, but they shut down the run, Scott. Miles Sanders at one point he got so much buzz during the week. It just was so confusing. Even Arian said he's one of the best that there is, and he's been doing it for years. I think this is his 2nd year in the league.
Right.
But anyway, Sanders had 5 carries for 5 yards, I think, entering the 4th quarter, something like that. They just totally shut him down. Hurts had a couple decent runs, but nothing crazy. He had 5 for 32 going into that last quarter, but they'd held him in check. And really the offense had given them the exact situation they wanted. Defense wasn't really even tested that much on the ground. Eagles went to it late when the Bucs were saying, okay, you got to pass to beat us. Who cares? But it started there, right? Dominant run defense on a couple early drives, 3 and outs for the Eagles were so big early in the game. I think they gave them the 1 first down on the offside, but that was it, Scott. And they shut down the run, and the Eagles, Hurts is really through the first 3 quarters of both their matchups, he's just massively struggled as a passer. And Bucs played great in coverage, but Todd Bowles has just been able to not blitz as much, put more numbers into coverage was huge for the Bucs early on in this game. They blitzed on occasion, and they got home when they did, which was great. But that was a big part of why that they ended up winning this game.
It really was, John. When you look at the cornerback play, I was thrilled beyond belief by not just the play of Carlton Davis, who was much better against the run. You pointed out how Davis really needed to feel better in last week's game against the Panthers. I thought both he and Jamel Dean played exceptionally well against the run on the perimeter. Dean had 7 tackles. Davis had 5. They only credited Davis with 1 pass breakup, but he had 3, according to my count. I mean, he dropped 3 interceptions, so that's 3 pass breakups in my book, right there. Dean also had a pass breakup, so both of those guys played exceptionally well. John, it's almost like, and I don't know because I know that the guys drink Gatorade and water and stuff, but it's almost like they were drinking a Celsius before the game. I'm not sure about that, but
Devin White,
I know I did.
Devin White looked like he did too, and who could blame him? Celsius powers active lives every day with essential functional energy. I'm rocking the Wildberry here. So many great flavors, so much great taste, Scott. And yeah, you can find them on pewterreport.com. You can click the banner ads. Amazon, do the subscribe and save option, or go to Celsius.com. Use the store locator. Find out where these amazing, tasty variety of flavor energy drinks are near you with no sugar in them. They're great for you. They give you the energy boost you need without the crash, and you can get some going to your house today. It's a great deal. And they've got the fast protein bars too that are going out there, and you can get them right now 20% off, Scott. That's white chocolate cookies and cream and the caramel peanut crunch, both outstanding flavors, truly terrific. Best protein bars honestly that I've ever had. And
John, they taste like candy bars, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
They taste like
Amazon,
candy bars,
if
we're being honest.
Yeah. Yep. And you can get them if you click the link down in the YouTube description. You can get them right now, and you can get yourself some of these great protein bars for 20% off. Use that promo code 20FASTSTART. That will allow you to get these things coming to you on the regular as well. Let's talk about that defense,
those,
Scott.
Yeah, so many of those protein bars taste like sawdust, right? Or like wood chips. I mean, these are just tremendous tasting protein bars.
Right. The 49ers trying to run down the clock here. I believe they're in a pretty good situation to be able to do so here. And at least if the Cowboys get it back, it's going to be minimal time left on the clock unless there's penalty or something happens here. So we'll see. Steven mentions Dean tackled exceptionally well today. Yeah, Dean had a great game other than falling down on the play that Mike Edwards had the interception. But that was great. I mean, the complementary defense today was so big, guys picking each other up, and you could see the importance of having the depth that they have defensively, but also having so many more good players on the field together. Yeah. And honestly, man, it might have been a huge blessing. I don't see this to be mean to him, and obviously I hope his hamstring's doing well, but not having Sean Murphy-Bunting out there might have been addition by subtraction to the max, because they played Winfield in the slot more. They didn't get too cute with it, I thought Winfield was able to play near the line of scrimmage. He got a ton of pressure as a pass rusher in this game. He's a good tackler around the line of scrimmage. And Mike Edwards played deep, and he played well, and he played in the slot some, in the box some, and having those three for the Bucs defense. Maybe Kid can't do it every week, but there's just no question to me they're just a better unit when Mike Edwards is on the field.
There's no doubt about it. 9 tackles for Edwards today. 9. And that huge interception.
That's crazy. I did not know that's going.
Yeah.
9 tackles?
Led the Bucs with 9 tackles, was everywhere.
That's exceptional.
In the slot, out deep, and certainly covered the ground when I think it was Devontae Smith who got open when Dean slipped down, and Edwards was Johnny on the spot right there to pick off the pass right at the front pylon in the end zone. And that was a huge play in the second quarter for the Buccaneers to preserve that lead and keep the Eagles out of the end zone. So that was a tremendous play by Edwards, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, John. I mean, you and I are not bashful when it comes to our affection for Edwards as a player. This guy he's absolutely a playmaker. Led the Bucs in interceptions this season, despite not even being a full-time starter. But that's just the talent that he has. And keep in mind, he missed 3 games due to that suspension, right? How many more interceptions could he have gotten? And also, if you go back to that Colts game, right, he punched the ball out. Levante David recovered. That was a big turnover in that game. So Edwards is a big play waiting to happen, and certainly was a huge factor today. John, I thought the safeties in general really played well today. The cornerbacks did, but, I mean, Jordan Whitehead, 2 tackles for loss. He was exceptional.
It might have been the best play this game the secondary has played together, like the starters together, right? I mean, Whitehead, like you said, tackles for loss. Carlton Davis dropped a couple picks, but a couple great plays in the ball too when you look at it that way. Dean played a great game. I mean, all 5 of them were outstanding in this game. I mean, there was coverage everywhere, and they Hurts for a while until the late in the game. Right. It was hard. I mean, he was having a hard time completing anything that wasn't just underneath.
And you know what, John? I loved what Todd Bowles did in this game. He decided to blitz up the middle late, right? When the game was already in doubt, and the Eagles had to throw the ball to try to get back in the game. That's when you saw the Devin White pressures up the middle. And to White's credit, he got 3 good hits on Hurts, including 1 pass breakup, and had 5 tackles for the game. That Devin White played under control. It was a great performance by White, kind of what we had been missing over the past month or so with Levante David out of the action. But the blitzes early, John, I thought it was so key, because you've got your veteran outside linebacker, Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul, setting the edge. But then those blitzes from the outside with Winfield and Dean, it's like setting another edge. It's like, it's like when you've got a castle and you have a moat around the castle, then you're going to dig another moat around the castle so no one can break into your castle, right? You're going to put some alligators in that moat. That's kind of what they did. They trapped Hurts so he couldn't scramble to the outside at all with those blitzes. Winfield got him for 1 sack on one of those blitzes and almost got him again right before halftime. But it forced Hurts to scramble up the middle of the field into the Vita Veas, the Ndamukong Suhs, the Raheem Nunez-Roches, the Steve McClendon, who ended up with the sack, and then right into Levante David and Devin White. I just thought it was a masterful play by Bowles to bring more blitzes from the outside to make sure that Hurts did not get to the perimeter and run for yards.
Yeah, for sure. It was a great game plan by Todd Bowles. Again, fourth quarter, I thought he was crazy for continuing to blitz so much. I get the game was over. He was probably trying to end it in one play.
Yes,
I
that's
think
exactly
just
right.
Force a pick, get a sack, get a strip sack, and finish it. I think that short field, and then everybody gets their backups in. And maybe that was by design, but 3 quarters, man, being able to time up a couple blitzes here and there, but for the most part, letting 4 rush or 5 rush at the most, or dropping somebody out, drop Shaq Barrett out. Hurts just doesn't see the field that well. That's his biggest flaw right now. He doesn't process or see the field that quickly. It was his biggest struggle in college too. So when you can commit numbers to coverage and you got everybody facing the quarterback, they did play some man coverage, honestly, today in this one too. Everybody played great in man coverage. Levante gave up the 1 catch, but he was in great coverage, great position on the play. Devin White had good coverage on a route down the field. In man coverage, you just I haven't really seen Devin White in man coverage very often.
No.
Just as a group, it was just a great effort, Scott. The whole team just did exceptionally well on defense. And what was crazy, here's the craziest part, Scott. You and I have talked about this all year long. When they don't get pressure, the Bucs usually suck as a defense. But in this game early on, they didn't get a ton of pressure on Jalen Hurts, and he had a lot of time to throw, and they just kept on it in coverage. They were sticky in coverage and made plays on the ball at the catch point all game long without committing penalties. It was just an exceptional game, I thought, by the back end of the defense, even with the front 4. Shaq and JPP didn't win a lot today, Scott. That was the one downside probably.
No, Shaq Barrett did not have a single tackle. Lane Johnson owned him, if we're being real. I mean, he absolutely locked him down. We talked about it in the pregame. Shaq Barrett really struggles against those mammoth right tackle types, the Ryan Ramczyks, the Havensteins out there in Los Angeles. And Lane Johnson locked him down. But, boy, what a huge play by Shaq Barrett to come up with a big-time interception to kind of halt any of that momentum that the Eagles were kind of getting a little bit, listen, he made a big play, even though he didn't make any plays as a pass rusher. This is his 3rd interception, his 2nd one of the season, his 3rd career pick. His first one came out there in 2019 against the Rams. So that's the one thing about Shaq Barrett is he's a complete dude. I know it drives Buccaneer fans crazy, and sometimes us a little crazy, right? When we see these pass rushers dropping in coverage, but when he makes a play like that, it's
absolutely
it's okay.
Yeah, and one of the reasons he didn't have that many tackles was the Eagles only actually ran it with backs, I think, 8-9 times in the game, but no sacks, and I didn't see him get pressure that often. He did have a couple good dips, and Lane Johnson went out of the game later, but they really looked like they were trying to contain the pocket. I mean, there was one play, and it was actually JPP, who was not good in this game either, was he let Hurts out of the pocket on the one big play the Eagles hit before the half, Scott, and he was in contain. He was just sitting there waiting for Hurts to break out. Then Hurts broke out, and he didn't get out and contain him. But on the other side, they really just wanted to make him condensed, and they believed their coverage could hold up.
Yeah,
Bowles trusted his guys, and he made the right call because they played outstanding in this game on the back end.
John, let's talk about what just happened real quick, right? With the 49ers beating the Cowboys in Dallas.
So the 49ers had the first down, and now they're calling him inches short. So it's 4th and inches. The first down would have ended the game. They could have knelt it down. Cowboys have no timeouts. There's a minute left in the game. San Francisco leads 23-17. It's 4th and inches for the Niners from the Dallas 38-yard line. So they're going for it on 4th and inches, it looks like here, to finish the game. If they get this, the game is over with a minute left. They can just kneel it down and run the clock out. And so if Dallas holds here, Dallas will have a chance with the ball and a minute left to drive down for a touchdown, no timeouts. So that's a lot on the line here. This is the game.
Interesting. Yeah. This is the game right here. We're going to tell you what happens.
They're not going to. The good news is I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo will be throwing on this play, which is already a win for the 49ers.
That's true. Yes. I mean, if he does anything, it should be a quarterback sneak, right? If you're going to get Garoppolo involved in this game. At this stage of the game, it should be a quarterback sneak with just an inch or two.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about this game, Scott, and I know Bucs fans don't necessarily care about this, but Cowboys fans, Cowboys media, this is the best team we've had.
Yeah.
This is the best team we've had since the last Super Bowl
And
teams.
it's a
This is the
home
best
game,
chance they've got.
right? You've got the third seed in the NFC, right? This is a home game for Dallas.
And Nick Bosa's been out for the whole second half, and some of this. It's like you got to win this game, and the only reason they're even in it is because the 49ers beating themselves.
Yep.
And that's been the most surprising part of it. And here we go, 4th and inches after the longest delay in review I think I've ever seen.
No kidding, right?
Like, this is unbelievable. So 4th and inches, the Cowboys defense trying to make a stand here to give the ball back to their offense. No, the clock is now running after the measurement. So this clock is going to run down even further, actually, before that.
49ers are going to call a timeout.
Now the 49ers will call timeout.
Right. So
39 seconds.
Just while we're waiting for the action to resume, this is kind of what I'm getting at for this game. The reason why this is important, if the 49ers go on to win, this sets up a bit of a chain reaction here, because the Buccaneers will play the winner of the Cardinals and Rams game on Monday night. This almost all but assures the Buccaneers will play on Sunday rather than Saturday in the next round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that important? Well, I should say, why would that happen? Well, because
you said Sunday, not Saturday.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, I don't see the NFL allowing the winner of that game on Monday night to have to play on Saturday. You talk about like screaming bloody murder, right?
Yeah,
so this, if the Buccaneers have to play the winner of the Monday night game, it would be on Sunday. If the 49ers, or I should say, if the Cowboys somehow beat the 49ers, they would play the Buccaneers. My guess, John, would be on Saturday, because the winner of that Rams-Cardinals game will play on Sunday, whether it's the Packers or whether it's the Buccaneers.
And Jimmy got it, but the Niners just moved 2 people before the snap. That's going to be a flag.
Oh, boy.
And now they throw the flag.
Oh, boy.
Why did they throw it that late? I don't know. Goodness. How do you make that mistake?
Wow. Trent Williams, false start.
Yeah, but Trent was moved. He was supposed to move, and 2 of the tight end shifted, so we'll get docked for it. But
wow,
how do you not
now
have
it's
that
4th
down?
and
You're
6
coming out
from
of
the
like
Dallas.
the longest stoppage of all time.
Oh my gosh, at the Dallas 43, 40 seconds left. Cowboys without timeouts, but will they get the ball back? And again, John,
and now what do you do here?
This is why it's so important, because if the Bucs are playing on Sunday, that's one more day for Tristan Wirfs' ankle to rest. That's one more day for Leonard Fournette to possibly be back for the second round of the playoffs, the divisional round. So this is a big thing here for the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
I think not only from a matchup standpoint, I think the Cowboys would present some real problems for the Buccaneers. I don't want to see Micah Parsons against Josh Wells on the regular.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it might be Aaron Donald against Josh Wells on the regular.
I think you're exactly right about that, Scott. That's a big part of this is the pass rush. Then Cowboys are going to get it from their own 20 with 32 seconds left, no timeouts. They got to score a touchdown. So still going to be a tough one for them here. But look, we've seen things happen before. The 49ers got to play off.
Hey,
got to play deep.
If you remember the Saints and the Vikings a couple of years ago, right? Stephon Diggs with the walk-off touchdown.
Yeah.
When Marcus Williams decided to throw a shoulder rather than wrap up Diggs after that catch.
Right.
So again, it's like you've got, and this is a good point. Josh Wells got dinged up in the game too. So you've got both right tackles for the Buccaneers dinged up. And I think even one more extra day of rest for Wirfs and Wells would help out. And I think this is all but certain that you're going to see Nick Leverett dress for the next game in case they need him at right tackle.
Right. And honestly, Wells didn't play very well. And so you're going to see those guys up. Yeah. Wells didn't play well. Lamb is hurt now on the sideline, and he'll come out of the game after a 20-yard gain for the Cowboys, gets them out to their own, where are they at? 30, I forget, 40, something like that. And so, I think that's going to be a big element to this too, Scott, is just how healthy are the offensive line? What's Ryan Jensen's situation? Some people are like, he went back into the game, so he must be fine. Not necessarily the case. He may play, but what kind of condition is he going to be in? That's a different story.
At the 50-yard line now, Dak Prescott with a short 10-yard pass to Tony Pollard runs out of bounds at the 50.
So they've at least got a chance for Hail Mary.
24 seconds left, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Flips
again, this is a big game, and we'll get to the Bucs-Eagles game in a minute here, but this is worth keeping an eye on here in real life time.
Because this determines a lot of who the Bucs' next opponent is going to be here.
It does.
If the Cowboys can pull this thing off, 18 seconds left.
And with the Rams and the Cardinals playing on Monday night, they're all but assured to be playing on Sunday. And if the Cowboys win, then I would suspect you're going to see the Cowboys and Bucs play on Saturday as a result. And that could make a difference with some of these guys in their injuries. One more day, John, means everything. You even heard Levante David today after the game in the press conference. He was not cleared medically until Saturday afternoon to play in this game.
Yeah.
Right. That's when he finally passed his final test to be able to play in this game. Yeah. It's not Levante's decision if he plays. It's not Bruce Arians' decision. It's the trainer's decision.
Right.
So sometimes one more day is what's necessary. And we'll see if that makes a difference with Tristan Wirfs, with Josh Wells, with Leonard Fournette, some of these players that are banged up for the Buccaneers that Tampa Bay might need to face.
Right.
Let's see here. So, all right. So they're
2nd and 1 at the 41-yard line of the 49ers, 14 seconds left. 49ers just used a timeout because they were going to have too many men on the field.
Yep.
And so they didn't want to go with the free play. So now with 14 seconds left, Dallas has
got to be hitting Hail Mary time, right?
All the 49ers have needed to do is make a tackle in bounds, and they've had a couple shots at it and have not been able to do it before the guy got out of bounds. So, I mean, Cowboys have no ability to stop the clock outside of a spike, and obviously they're going to need all the plays they can here on out. So,
we appreciate everybody here joining us while this game is going on, and we're
trying to see who the Bucs are playing in the next round.
While you're here, make sure that you're subscribing to Pewter Report TV on YouTube. We're so close to 7,000 subscribers. Thanks to everybody out there that has already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, take the time to do so right now. We're just seconds away from finishing up our Eagles Bucs playoff coverage while we're waiting
just
for the end of this
ran
game.
up the middle of the field, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. They're going to try to get it lined up, but now they're going to only have one shot. I don't think he spiked it in time. I don't think the ball hit the ground in time.
Wow. 17-yard run.
That game should be over.
To the 24-yard line.
There's not that ball did not hit the ground before that clock hit 0. At least up on the screen.
Are they going to review it?
I'm sure they'll review it, but that spike did not happen. What a strange decision. A Dak run up the middle of the field got them closer to the 49ers 24.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that basically killed
the game.
Game
over. The game is over. That's it. The game is over. Wow.
And they're right about that. The game is over. And so the 49ers win the game 23-17. An absolutely bizarre play call there. Basically just lost the game for them. The ref has to be able to spot this ball. They don't take that into account to the Cowboys.
That's
the fact that that's still got to happen, and that's out of their control if they run the ball there, Scott. So they basically just left the game in the official's hands to try and catch up to the game. And the official probably is doing what he can, but you got to be smarter than that. You can't leave the ball in their hands in that situation. So anyway, Cowboys lose. That fan base is going to be heartbroken. Yeah. They really thought this was their year, and they don't even win a playoff game.
Oh, that's sad.
Unbelievable. But the 49ers move on. So the 49ers will play the Packers. And so now the Bucs can turn their attention. They've got either the Rams or the Cardinals who play on Monday night. So either way, it's going to be a day less of rest. So something to factor in there. Plus, it's night game, right? It's at night, isn't it? The game? It's 8:15 at night. Yeah.
Yes,
so
correct.
So it's a short week for whoever that is. No question about it.
It's a short week. And not just that, you're talking about 2 West Coast teams, John. One of those teams has got to fly all the way across the country, right? Good point. So this is worst case scenario for one of those teams, whoever's going to advance, to have to face the Buccaneers on a very short week, right? I mean, it's Monday. It's one thing to play Sunday night. This is Monday night. So you're not going to get done. And especially if this game is at Los Angeles, right? So let's say that the Cardinals win. They have to fly back to Arizona. That's going to consume a good chunk of the day on Tuesday, is the travel and sleep and the rest. You're going to have Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, 3 days to really prepare and practice. And one of those days has to be the player's day off, which is going to be Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're flying across the country to play in a different time zone on what I'm guessing is Sunday. And it has to be Sunday because I just can't see it. I can't see the league.
About that. Yeah, that's a good point. You're right about that.
So and of course that benefits the Buccaneers because, again, Wirfs, Wells, Fournette, anybody that's banged up right now, will have an extra day of rest because of that.
Something to think about. The Rams are without some safeties right now. Jordan Fuller's out for the year, and I believe another safety's out for this upcoming game. So they signed Eric Weddle. He's playing now. He might start. I don't even know. He hasn't played football in 2 years. No. So we'll see how he looks against Arizona. I think everybody would, if Bucs fans are honest, I mean, Sean McVay's destroyed Todd Bowles, so they probably would rather face Arizona, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I care. Have they faced Arizona? They have not faced Arizona since I've been covering the team. In
2019, which was Kyler Murray's rookie season.
Yeah.
And it came down to really a Jamel Dean interception picked off Kyler Murray in that game. But,
so not a huge track record to go off. Murray's such a different player from then.
Oh, big time, yes. And you didn't have Tom Brady at quarterback that year. You had Jameis Winston, too.
Yeah.
So yes, I think Buccaneer fans will be wanting the Cardinals to win that game. The Cardinals.
I think the Rams are going to win, though.
I think so, too. I do, too. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe Matthew Stafford has a Matthew Stafford-type meltdown. He's had those before. He has not played nearly as great down the stretch as he did when the Bucs played them in Week 3. Deshaun Jackson is not on the team. Deshaun Jackson really carved up the Buccaneers with a couple of deep catches, including a big touchdown.
Yep.
So that's a different element right there for the Rams. But I suspect, John, that you're going to have a ton of LA. The LA market is going to be tuned in to Monday Night Football, right? The Phoenix and Arizona market's going to be tuned in. And I think the third largest market is going to be Tampa Bay tuning into tomorrow night's game. I know I'm going to be watching it just to see who the Buccaneers are going to play in the next round of the playoffs at Raymond James Stadium.
Right. Oh, I'll be watching it for sure. And, Arizona has played better than losing 4 or 5, but losing 4 or 5 is losing 4 or 5. It doesn't, you don't get, performance points or anything like that. It's the reality is you lost 4 or 5 games finished. And now you've got a team against the Rams who you lost to last time you played. And Aaron Donald had 14 pressures in one game, Scott, against the Cardinals the last time he played them. This is you don't have to get cute. It's still going to be a challenge. The Bucs would obviously be in a better matchup when they face a team like Arizona, which has questions on their interior offensive line, even questions to tackle, an unproven playoff quarterback in Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins injury. We don't know what his status will be moving forward, or if he'll be able to come back if they make it to the divisional round. There's just no question you'd rather face them than Stafford and Kupp and OBJ and Higbee, and the offensive line is like the number one in pass protection outside of the Bucs. And there's just no, and Aaron Donald, like you'd obviously rather face the Cardinals. We don't, the Bucs are going to say they don't care, but the Cardinals pulling the upset would be huge for the Bucs.
It would. Now, here's a crazy statistic when it comes to the Cardinals, right? So the Cardinals this year, they've got 6 losses. Okay. 5 of those losses have come at home. At home, John. This is the road team of all road teams this year. They've lost 1 road game.
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals. Wow. Guess where that 1 road game was?
Where?
Detroit. They lost to Detroit. That's it. They have home. They have home. That
was brutal.
To Green Bay, to Carolina, to the Rams, 30-23 back on December 13th. Yeah. That's the most recent meeting between those 2 teams.
So get them away from home. They're like the Bucs
exactly. Here. They lost to the Colts at home on December 25th, and they lost to Seattle in the last game of the season, 38-30 at home. They only have 1 loss on the road, and that was at Detroit. Otherwise, they're undefeated on the road this year with wins at Tennessee in the season opener, 38-13. They beat the Rams at LA 37-20 in week 4. That was right after the Buccaneers lost to the Rams.
One, right? Yeah,
exactly. They beat the 49ers at home 17-10. And then they lost. Actually, they swept the 49ers. They beat the 49ers 31-17 later. So, they've done a hell of a job on the road this year. They had a road win at Seattle 23-13. So it's crazy, but the Cardinals are terrible at home this year, but they are very good on the road. So that may give them a little shot of confidence, and the fact that they won at LA earlier in the season against Matthew Stafford and the Rams.
Road field advantage for the Cardinals.
Road field advantage. I like it.
Yep. That's where we're at this point. By the way, if you were wondering, wow, I've loved this day and Chiefs and Steelers are about to start and I'm looking for a place to lay down some money and win on some of these player stat lines, you can do it over at Underdog Fantasy with the promo code Pewter, Pewter. They will double your first deposit right now up to $100. You can put that money in and go put down some money on some of these player stat lines over under for some of these players in tonight's game. You can double your first. You can win up to 20 times the amount of money. If you get a pick 5 right, you win up to 20 times the amount of money that you put in with Underdog Fantasy. So go over there. The app, the interface is awesome. The app is great. You can download that for free it's so easy to use, so easy to understand. I love the aesthetic is terrific. Check out Underdog.
It's a fantastic app.
It really is. Get yourself some
easy to use.
To win today. Okay, let's talk a little bit, Scott, about how this game unfolded for the Bucs offensively. Loved the approach. Thought they went out pass heavy.
Yeah.
They were clearly going after him. Brady just knew everything they were going to do, man. I mean, like we talked about, I think, on the live stream a lot, but Brady finished this game. I don't think he had an off-target pass in the entire game, Scott. I mean, really, 29-37. The couple of passes that were incomplete were they're either dropped or they were right on the money, contested. Like Brashad Perriman couldn't come up with a tough one on the sideline, had one go through his hands, another one off his hands on a game. Tyler Johnson dropped one, Giovanni Bernard dropped one. I mean, it was a clinic by Brady. He really was in his own. The only time he struggled was when they put him in tough down distance. He got sacked in a couple of third downs, and the offensive line was definitely not their best day. The injuries, I think, were definitely a part of that. Obviously, Josh Wells was pretty rough, but other than that, offensively, it's still the same concerns though, Scott. Like if this offensive line can't be elite, or if Wirfs is banged up, Jensen, and they're not 100%, or Wells is in there, and if the depth wide receivers don't step up, because they were okay. I mean, Tyler Johnson came back, made 2 catches, I think, in this game, but he's the reason they're off the field on an early third down against a better team. That's a game-changing play. Those are the guys who are the concern moving forward. Perryman's got to be better than this moving forward. But honestly, Mike Evans was so good today, Scott. It just didn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Evans. It's almost like if you rewind the clock to 2015 and 2016, where Mike Evans was the offense. I mean, that's the thing. Mike Evans has to play great from here on out. And the thing is when you look at Evans over the last couple of years, certainly last year and into this year as well, he's been so selfless of a player. And you hear Brady and Arians and everybody talk about it. It doesn't matter if Mike has 1 catch or 9, if he has 117 yards or 11 yards, if he has a touchdown or no touchdowns at all. The thing is, they're going to need those 100-yard games from Evans going forward. He's going to have to play like this week in and week out all the way through the Super Bowl if they make it that far. And the good news is he's capable of doing this. He's capable of dominating. He tore up the Packers in the first quarter of that game in the NFC Championship game. And against the Washington football team in the first round of the playoffs, the wild card round, John, he came through with 100 yards, and we didn't even know if he was going to play in that game last year because he tweaked his knee in the end zone after getting his 1,000 yards against the Falcons. This guy's mental and physical toughness is just sensational. And I think that he's so used to being the focal point of the offense early in his career. And honestly, I think because of his selfless nature, he loves the fact that he's got a Chris Godwin who emerged, really in 2018. His rookie season, Godwin wasn't Chris Godwin, but Chris Godwin became Chris Godwin in 2018, 2019, and into this season. And then, of course, the addition of Gronk, a real playmaker at tight end.
Right.
It's taken some pressure off Mike Evans. He doesn't mind sharing the load, but he's got that experience to fall back on. The fact that he was the focal point of the passing game with Jameis Winston. But what he's seeing now, John, is smarter throws by Mike Evans, or I should say by Tom Brady to Mike Evans, rather than the jump balls that can get picked off if they're not accurate throws like we saw so many times from Jameis Winston.
The deep play touchdown was just such a good throw. Going across the field like that, engaging his speed. It was just a perfect throw, hit him in stride. But Evans after this game was absolutely hilarious. Just a terrific interview after the game. They said, Greg, I think, asked him, what do you think about your performance despite, all the guys that were out and hurt? And what do you think about your production? He said, I did decent. There's a couple other plays I could have been better at. Perimeter blocking, that effing touchdown I could have had. And he said the word in the first half. But I did a solid job. I was waiting for this moment. Whenever the ball comes my way, I try to make a play. And he just went on the whole thing. They just asked him a couple questions about, and every question was just like, and he was 100% honest. Like he was just like, I should have probably had it. He had 10 targets. He caught 9 of them in this game.
Right.
Like this guy, the only one he didn't catch. I mean, he's right. He could have made a play on that touchdown. It was a perfect ball from Brady, but that's a tough catch.
Yeah.
He was just insane. 9 catches, 117 yards, did everything team asked him to, really was terrific. And he'll need to be moving forward too. The test will get harder than this. He said it today, I would have liked to see more man coverage. I'm sure that he would, but the rest of the receivers would not.
Well, he was asked which team he wants to play in the next round, and he says, whoever plays the most man coverage, please.
That's right. And Dallas is out now, so I don't know that he's going to get that wish, because we'll see how much the Rams do. They'll do a sum, I'm sure, but it's funny because he wants that, but I don't know that that's the best thing for the rest of the guys on the team for sure. Matt, you're out here with us, and you were watching this game as well, Matt, and seeing Mike Evans do what he does. He really put the team on his back today. I thought we'd see a bigger game from Gronk. Gronk played great when he was targeted. He just wasn't as big a part of the passing attack as I thought he would be. Instead, a lot of it was Evans. They move him around. They get 2 big plays to him from the slot. He was just outstanding in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love too that, Mike drops the F-bomb, and he's mad, one, because he didn't make the catch, but two, the first thing he said was, I could have done a better job blocking. And we know Bruce Arians blocking the perimeter. He loves a blocking wide receiver. And it's like, that's the first thing he thinks of. But I mean, we spoke about it before the game. You knew that Mike Evans and Gronk had to be the top 2 elite guys. And, Gronk was solid, 5 receptions, 31 yards, and had the touchdown where he was wide open, where any 3 of us could have made that catch. But Mike,
not me. I've got bad hands.
Well, you got the bad finger from blocking the punt.
I do have the bad finger from blocking the punt. That's a fact.
But Mike, again, the expectations were all on him, and he surpassed it with flying colors. And it wasn't just that he put up the stats of 9 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. The way that he was making plays, I thought was very intriguing. It wasn't just the downfield type of stuff. Like, he was catching screen passes. I was like, Mike Evans, trying to make moves downfield. My favorite catch, obviously the touchdown was insane. And I didn't even know Mike had that in him to flip into the end zone. Like, I know he's a very athletic guy and he could jump high, but to stay in bounds and then decide to flip after was great. But I love the third down reception that he made, where he dove across the field and he caught it about like the 3-yard line. That was probably my favorite play from Mike Evans in the whole game. But he was an absolute monster. He dominated out there. They needed him to dominate, and he brought it today. And that's a great sign moving forward, that more than anything else, they're going to get Mike involved in different ways. They're not just going to use him down the field, what we're used to, but they need Mike in different ways. And this was a good sign to start out the playoffs.
Right. John and Matt, we're getting a lot of questions about Tristan Wirfs' ankle. And as I said at the beginning of the show, you can take it as a good sign that Wirfs was able to at least go back in the game and give it a try.
I think they ruled out significant damage.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, though, that ankle is going to swell through the night, and he's going to get treatment for it, obviously. But it's going to be a lot worse tomorrow than it was at any point today. And so that's the biggest concern, is how much can they get the swelling down during the week? How much mobility is he going to have as the week goes on? That's going to be the thing.
It should be noted that Tristan Wirfs missed the first snap of his career today. He has never come out of a game, even a game that was a blowout, because they don't. You only have 8 linemen, and he and Kappa got to stay in. So he's now Kappa's the only guy that's played every snap for the Bucs this season. But he does not come out of an NFL game until today. So still in the regular season he hasn't, but
and kudos to Ryan Jensen. I mean, he was in some serious pain. That is one tough SOB right there. And I'm not saying Tristan Wirfs isn't, because not all ankle injuries are the same. But, man, Ryan Jensen was in some serious pain. He got his leg rolled up on by Donovan Smith, who got blocked on the goal line play. And Jensen, I was in the Pewter Report group text. I was texting JC at the stadium, who's taking those reps on the sidelines? Who's snapping to Brady on the sidelines while the defense was on the field? Is it Hainsey? Are they going to put Hainsey out there? Is it Marpet? Are they going to move Marpet over to center and then put Stinney in? And we never got the answer. What was our answer? Nobody, because Ryan Jensen was going back in. So that guy is just an absolute stud.
Yeah, no question. I got to say this, though. We got to get straight on this. I need everybody to hear me. So if you're listening to the show, listen to me, please. Bruce Arians does not decide who goes back in the game when they're injured. He doesn't decide it. He has no say in the Tristan Wirfs. When the doctors tell him Tristan Wirfs has been cleared, he feels good, he's ready to give it another shot, he says, okay. When he sees that he's not good, then you take him out. And he did after the 3 plays. And I'm not saying the doctors didn't screw up. I'm just saying Tristan Wirfs was not put back into the game by Bruce Arians. I don't know how many responsibilities you think a coach has on the sideline. Yes, I think it's great that once he saw it, he got him out. Then it becomes his responsibility. Once you see it, you know he can't go get him out and keep him out, and they did. But up until that point, he is managing the football game. Like, he is not evaluating injuries and watching players go through warmups and looking at their x-rays. And like, he has none of that stuff. He goes solely off of what doctors tell him on the sideline. If they tell him a guy can go and a guy can play, he plays them and they go back in the game. It's that simple. And if Wirfs is a part of that decision too, he obviously wanted to try and go. That's how it works. So anybody blaming Arians for that is just wrong. He does nothing to do with that decision.
It's not Harold Goodwin. It's not Byron Leftwich. It's not Joe Gilbert. It is the trainer and the player. That's the conversation right there.
And if you want to blame them, okay, it's too far a distance for me to blame them. If they'd kept him in the game, I'd be blaming everybody. They didn't. Different situation with the starters staying in as long as they did. That is Bruce Arians' decision to say, okay, we're taking starters out now. That to me was foolish. I agree with everybody who's saying that. But I need to color the distinction for people.
That's a great
Bruce
point,
Arians
John.
is not watching to see if players are healthy enough to come back in the game. He has a staff for that. They just tell him, and he says, okay. He can't do all of those things.
Yeah, he's got a whole team to worry about, not like monitoring Tristan Wirfs on the sideline while the defense is on the field. And he's got to take care of that.
The trainer, the head trainer, or the assistant, one of those two is responsible for going over to Arians and letting him know what the status of the players is that are injured, as well as the coordinators, right? Because they got to know, like, who am I putting in this next series or this next package on defense or whatever, right? So that's where the trainer informs the coach. The coach has nothing to do with that. You're right, John. John, I want to get your thoughts on this because you and I talked at halftime, and Matt, I'll get this off the screen so we can see you. I'll read it quickly. From Nathaniel Pitts, my only question for the night, as I sip a new blueberry pomegranate Celsius heat, choice. Why can't Keyshawn Vaughn break a tackle? And when he's not trying to avoid tackles, why does he have his teammates tackle him for him? So I thought Vaughn played pretty well. I said it at halftime. He had a 17-yard run to start the game, but John, he didn't do much after that, right? I mean, I know that the Eagles were keying on him in the second half, and they're trying to run the clock out and preserve that lead. But your thoughts on Matt and John, your thoughts on Keyshawn Vaughn?
I don't think it's all his fault. I think he did fine. He did break a couple tackles. He made the most of a couple runs. I think his vision's pretty good. He's just ordinary when it comes to tools, physical strength and agility, balance, things like that. I think he's okay balance-wise. I mean, I think a couple tacklers bounced off of him today, but when you've got no burst, it makes everything harder. And the Bucs, he might have more burst than Leonard, but in general, Giovanni Bernard's the only guy you watch run and you're like, wow, like he got away from a guy. Wow, he got through an opening quick. And you could see that today. I thought today was some vindication for like the whole Giovanni Bernard should be running the football more. It makes no sense that Giovanni Bernard is not running the football more than he is in this game. 13 carries, 44 yards. He lost, a bunch on that one of the carries at the end of the game, obviously. But overall in this game, I thought that he ran the ball better than the other guys did. He showed a little bit of that burst, but still, offensive line, you just got to be way better. They got to block better. Josh Wells was a big part of him. He let up penetration on several runs. Yeah, that's a big concern. He's almost more of a concern in that way than he is in the pass game if he does have to play. Yeah,
and speaking of trainers, super chat here, and Matt, I'll get your thoughts on Vaughn in just a second. Godwin was sprinting on the sidelines with an ACL tear.
That's not unusual. That is a part of testing for ACLs. Yeah, that's not unusual. I know people say that because they don't understand, but it's a good reason why staying out of these discussions is a good idea if you're not informed about these things, because it's something that he wasn't sprinting, by the way, he's just jogging, but it's part of the testing process for that. He's not the only player to do it. He won't be the last.
Yep. And the thing too is with Godwin, and you'll see the trainers, they'll sit there, they'll look at the knee and they'll kind of feel around and they'll do those tests with the knee. And that's why the initial prognosis, and if you remember, the national media was reporting that Godwin had an MCL sprain. It wasn't until they got the MRI the next day that it revealed the ACL tear. So they were operating under the premise that it was an MCL injury. Godwin walked off the field gingerly and was sprinting on the sidelines because he could, right?
Right. Yep, absolutely. No question about it. That, again, if you want to say something about team doctors or whatever, I'm just going to need a longer track record. I'm going to need clear examples. I'm not going after, I have no vantage point there, and nor do I have medical expertise to be able to comment on it. I think these kind of things happen with every team and every game, and you just notice it because it's your fan base. But was it good they got Wirfs out of there? Yes, that was important. They got him out of there. There was no reason for that. And maybe they made a mistake putting him in. I'm not saying they didn't. It sure looked like he was not able to go, and you would think they would have been able to tell that a little bit by the sideline. But sometimes the contact reveals that. Obviously, we've never seen him get run through for a sack like he was on that play. And so that's a pretty clear indication that you're not right. So
you can put an asterisk by the sack that Tristan Wirfs gave up there. That's an asterisk.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't count. That's like,
yeah, that's
got to go by the wayside.
But hey, Josh Wells gave up a worse one at full health a couple of plays later. So.
And like clearly, once he was back in the game, I think everyone watching noticed like right away. It's like, okay, as soon as, not that you ever want to go 3 and out, but it's like, all right, like just get the offense off the field, get Tristan Wirfs off the field, because this is clearly an issue. And then just as far as the Keyshawn Vaughn, he's a pretty straightforward runner, and I actually kind of like. I enjoy the fact that he sees the hole and he just hits it right away, and he's moving forward and up the field. Where Leonard Fournette, he breaks a lot of tackles and he makes a lot of great plays, and that's why Bucs teammates and fans and everyone love him. But the one knock on Leonard Fournette as far as a runner was that he dances a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. Hey man, just pick the hole or just get going. It kind of takes him a little bit longer than you would want. Keyshawn Vaughn, he's just following his blockers. And like you said, John, it's on the offensive line for when they weren't really getting the ground game going. But he just follows his blockers. He hits the hole right away. And I kind of enjoy that because we haven't seen that as much with Bucs running back. So I think he's solid, in his role. Obviously, when Leonard Fournette comes back, he'll be the number one guy. But as a backup, I don't think you could really complain about what he did.
Right. I agree with you on that. I think it's just the result of the product of what the offense is doing. And guess what? If we're talking about ballers, we got to talk about our friends over at Pin Chasers, pinchasers.net, where you can figure out the times of Pin Chasers to go take your family for some bowling, some food, and some fun. Matt, you've been out there. You know what Pin Chasers is all about, and I know you know about the all-you-can-eat pizza night they got out there.
Yeah, every Tuesday is all-you-can-eat pizza, I believe after 9 p.m. Great. They have deals like every single night. Thursday, it's all-you-can bowl after 9 p.m. and $1 Miller Lights. It's again, deals every single day. So it's great to bring the family out. Great to go out for a night with the friends. The grill is fantastic. You can get breakfast food. Their food is very underrated in general. I'm a big fan of it. They bring it right to your table too. You don't even have to like go up and order. They got servers that come by and you can just order for them right there. So it's a really fun time at Pin Chasers. The owner is a huge Bucs fan, has season tickets, so he's happy right now. So you're supporting a fellow Bucs fan by going to Pin Chasers.
Yeah, no question about it. Pin Chasers is awesome. You can bring the family out there, have some great time, great food, great fun at the bowling lanes as well. All right, let's talk about this Bucs offense a little bit more. We barely mentioned it, and we'll get to game ball. Actually, we need to get to game balls. Let's get to game balls, and we'll talk about it within the context of game balls. Let's do our game balls. I don't know if anybody else is joining. I don't know if we're going to get JC.
Hold on. We've got some breaking news on two fronts. Okay, breaking news on two fronts. We are now officially 10 subscribers away from 7,000 on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're one of those 10 that helps us cross the finish line to get to 7,000 subscribers on Pewter Report TV. And make sure if you're watching this broadcast live or if you're watching the podcast version on YouTube, Pewter Report TV, that you're hitting the like button. That helps our algorithm, helps us get in front of more Buccaneer fans so we can give them the education, the entertainment, the information that the Pewter Report podcast shows provide. The other bit of breaking news is live from Kansas City. The Steelers and the Chiefs are about to kick off, and one of my favorite coaches.
They've kicked off.
Okay. Well, one of my favorite coaches, Mike Tomlin, was asked about his message before the team took the field, and he said, "Don't blink. If you're a blinker, cut your eyelids off. This is not for the faint of heart." So I don't know if he was telling that to his players to expect a massacre at Arrowhead, or if they're going to shock the world tonight and beat the Kansas City Chiefs in one of the toughest venues to play, which is Arrowhead.
The second one, but
yeah.
hey, they got a 3 and out on their first.
That's right.
First offense too, and first defense, so they got the ball. So we'll see what happens, but no question about it, they've got their work cut out for them tonight, I think. But all Bucs fans should be pulling for the Steelers, right? I mean, one less good AFC team to worry about if you do get to the Super Bowl, right?
Well, yeah, I guess you can look at it that way. Although they took care of the Chiefs last year, 31-9 in that Super Bowl.
Right. But would you rather play the Titans or the Chiefs if you're the Bucs?
I'd rather play the Titans, I think.
I'd much rather play the Titans.
Right? Yeah.
Or the Bengals.
No,
I think I'd rather face them than Mahomes. I'm not saying those guys are good, but I'm just saying.
Right.
Look at that. About it. All right, let's give these Manscaped game balls. JC and Casey, they were at the stadium today. They're tired. They're not coming. They're not showing up to this game.
That's
that show. You got the
Game
read, Scott?
balls.
You got. I know
have
you're
the
always
read.
excited for this part of the week.
Well, it's not just me who's excited, John. I think everyone listening is excited, right?
The fans are clamoring for this read.
Yeah, this is the Manscaped read, and I've got new copy here, which I've not read yet. So there's a good chance I'll be laughing along with you guys as we find out exactly what Manscaped has us promote this week. And the great thing about this is Manscaped, they got this special offer, 20% off, free shipping using the promo code Pewter20. So that's what you got to do. You got to make sure that you use the promo code Pewter20, folks. So hang on. Here we go. All right. There's nothing like the NFL playoffs. Move over, Bills Mafia. It's time for Balls Mafia with our sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. That's tremendous. That's great copy. Oh, my God. Balls Mafia. Oh my God, how can I do this right now? They're here to remind you that the recipe for success in the playoffs is to protect your franchise quarter balls. The road to the Super Bowl is never easy, but the road to your Super Bowls is a few clicks away. Take the Lambeau leap and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Men like John Ledyard, Matt Matera, J.C. Allen, and Scott Reynolds. With our exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com and use the promo code Pewter20 for 20% off and shipping. Now, this year, take your package to the next level with the Performance Package 4.0 and their brand new ultra premium body wash 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. That's just one of the things that you can get along with the Performance Package 4.0. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you're going to find the signature Lawnmower 4.0. This is the electric trimmer that's designed to trim the hair on loose skin. The advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate nuts. It also comes with the 4000K LED spotlight, which I need because my vision's going at age 49. This is very important. Make sure you use the light when you're using Manscaped. It helps. This package can change the way you approach prepping your field before the big game. The grooming routine is not complete without the Crop Reviver and the Crop Preserver. These new formulations here.
Those are clutch.
They are clutch,
Let me
John.
tell you.
They take care of the smelliest part of your body, which is your ball sack. And they are a big boost to your confidence into the new year to complete the Manscaped set. They've also thrown in the Shed Travel Bag. This is one of the quality items that you're going to get to hold all of your Manscaped gear, as well as the Performance Boxer Briefs, John. These anti-chafing boxer briefs.
Wearing them right now. Got to wear them for every Bucs game.
Me too. That's what I do. It's part of my Sunday routine. I put them on.
I didn't even know we had that same routine. Now it's kind of weird, but here we are.
It's a little weird, but I mean, the Manscaped
I'm fine with it.
Kind of weird too. So, but listen, you get all of this stuff and the new product that needs no introduction, the ultra premium body wash from Manscaped. It solves all three of your needs. It's a perfect addition to your daily grooming routine in the shower by using Manscaped's promo code, which is Pewter20. Go to manscaped.com, save 20% off, get the free shipping with promo code Pewter20. And we do have some more of these awesome Pewter Report shirts. We've been giving these away all year long. They've been going like hotcakes. You can get the white. We also have them in pewter. We have them in black. And the way to get these Pewter Report t-shirts, you can email me your receipt. When you use the promo code Pewter20, you're going to get a receipt emailed to you from Manscaped. And when you do, you're going to forward that to me at sr@pewterreport.com. When you forward that email to me, it's got your shipping information, which I need to send you the shirt for free. It does not have your financial information, which I don't want. So make sure you forward that to me. Tell me, do you want white, black, or pewter, and what size, and we'll send that shirt to you. And we need about 5 more of these. We're kind of in a bit of a contest here. So we need 5 people out there to take advantage of this order. Use the promo code Pewter20 and order Manscaped before the end of the month. You've heard us talk about it. We've done it all season long. If you have not taken advantage and become a Manscaped member, make today the day. And you will say, holy smokes, Reynolds was right. I should have been doing this all along. So make sure you place your order. Use the promo code Pewter20 to save 20% off and get free shipping. Manscaped.com.
I will stand on the table for that product. It's a great product, no question about it. Okay, let's get to these Manscaped game balls. By the way, Casey has texted in her game balls for
Okay.
today.
We'll take it.
And she's stealing my offensive one and my defensive one. So classic Daisy. Cutting to the front of the line here and stealing both of my choices. Scotty Miller is their game ball for, I guess, special teams and offense. And Mike Edwards. And let me just say this about Mike. We've talked about the Mike Edwards play. Great play. Just the 9 tackles in general. I think that's going to be a popular choice amongst us. But the Scotty Miller 2 plays from today, guys, the play as a gunner, a guy that had played 3 games as a gunner this season, has not been a gunner in his career. Bruce Arians openly said he had serious doubts about Scotty Miller being a gunner because of his size. Miller has just continued to work. It wasn't the only play either. He won every single rep as a gunner. He was down there so fast. When you're down there that fast, you're going to force all these fair catches. It's not even going to matter that much that you don't tackle that well. And honestly, tackled fine when he had this opportunity and was able to mess Rager up here as Rager couldn't field that one cleanly. Forced the fumble. This changed the whole game. And then he gets the 9-yard end around and he goes down in bounds. He's engaged.
Smart play.
Special teams. He's engaged on offense. He's not even getting reception. He did catch a pass today. That was his only target. He's not even been involved in the offense as a receiver that much, but he had a rushing touchdown last week in the regular season finale. This is what a pro is, guys. A pro is somebody who loses their opportunity like this, stays mentally engaged, stays physically engaged, works hard to get back from rehab, works hard to get back to 100%, goes in as a gunner in a playoff game when your team needs it, when they need you to step up in that environment, makes a play on offense, gets a first down, follows his blocking, patient, gets down in bounds. That's a pro, man. Scotty Miller's a pro. You can say what you want about what his ceiling is going to be in the NFL. That's a guy you love to have on your team.
No doubt about it. Absolutely.
Playoff Scotty is becoming a thing.
What's that?
Playoff Scotty is becoming
a thing. Scotty is becoming a thing.
That's true. Yeah. It is. All right, Matt, you want to give us your game balls, offense and defense?
Yeah, sure. Offensively, I know we talked about Mike Evans a lot. He was the number 1 guy, but for me, Giovanni Bernard, this game that he had 44 rushing yards and a touchdown, 39 receiving yards. This is what we expected when the Bucs signed Giovanni Bernard. I talked earlier on the pregame show about how the Bucs are going to need a third option, a third weapon outside of Mike Evans and Gronk. And Giovanni Bernard was one of the guys that really stepped up. Good in the screen game, obviously, as always. Made some plays going up the field. Showed that he can still do it as a runner, even though he doesn't get a ton of opportunities. And obviously, he was out for a very long time. But I thought Giovanni Bernard stepped up when the Bucs really needed a third option, and he did a good job. So I'm picking him for the offense. On defense, Scott, you said it before, and I could not agree with you more, that just the entire safeties group was great. And I really think a lot of times when you see these turnovers and splash plays that the defense is getting, a lot of times it's the safeties that are the catalyst for getting these turnovers. So this guy went a little under the radar just because of what Mike Edwards did and Shaq Barrett's big day. But Antoine Winfield Jr., I really think he had a sack in the game. He had 5 tackles and a tackle for a loss. I love when he's up the line of scrimmage. It seems like every time he blitzes, he gets home. He's so solid. You don't have to really worry about him at all. I really enjoy his game. I think he's super beneficial to the defense when he's out there because he'd be utilized in so many different ways. And he got things rolling with that sack, and I thought he had a really good game. So he's my defensive game ball.
Yeah, question. That's some good choices right there. John, do you want to give your game ball, or you want to defer to me? The coin toss is yours.
I'm gonna take it. I think this point.
Okay,
I am. Tom Brady's my offensive game ball. I have great choices, by the way. Mike Evans, obviously, I'm leaving for you, Scott, because I know you want that. So I'm being kind in that.
Thank you, kindly.
But Brady was just so good today, and I know he's going to talk about it because it wasn't, like the last game where it was 10 throws down, 20 yards down, more down the field. You heard Gronk at the end of the game. You heard us all week, I'm sure, previewing this game. Eagles don't give up big completions down the field. They don't let you get there, but they'll let you live underneath. So Brady just took everything underneath, was only derailed in the first half. I think he had 5 incompletions in the first half. 4 of them were drops. And I mean, he just shredded them. Absolutely shredded them. It was no contest for Brady at all in terms of being able to get the ball out quickly, accurately to receivers. I don't think he missed a throw in the whole game. He was just
I forgot what Arian said exactly, but it was something to the effect of, once he figures you out, man, it's over.
He's going to eat you alive.
He figured the Eagles out before he figured the Eagles out before the first snap. So it was curtains. Once these guys remembered they could catch, it was a wrap pretty quickly for the Eagles defense. They just had no answer for Brady. And I thought there would be way more man than there was from the Eagles. There was some, but it wasn't as much as I thought there would be. Again, I just thought you're going to challenge these receivers. It gets very interesting, by the way. Let me just touch on this, Scott, because I know I think fans will be interested in this. going into now whoever they play, the Rams or the Cardinals, people need to understand the Rams with their top 3 corners this season, the top 4 corners, none of their top 3 corners have even played 17% of their snaps in man coverage this season. This is about as low a man coverage team with Jalen Ramsey. They're about as low a true man coverage team as you'll see. Now, there may be some pattern matching. You pick up guys in zone, and you're a pretty aggressive man in the way that you match routes and those coverages.
Even Mike Evans even said that Darius Slay did a little bit of that today, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, Darius Slay would follow him, but it would be zone coverage on that side of the field. So just if Evans stayed in that area, Slay would have him. But if he didn't, then he would leave, and Slay doesn't go inside. And so you saw Evans just absolutely break off of Avonte Maddox on 2 different routes. It's sensational stuff. He's such a good route runner. It's such an underrated part of his game. But yeah, the Eagles, I mean, the Rams, you're talking about almost the bottom of the league, very high cover 3, cover 4, cover 6 defense, very low 2-man, very low cover 2 zone, very low, like almost no cover 2 zone, and pretty low cover 1. I mean, about half the league rate. So they are, again, we're talking about almost no man coverage from a team like the Rams if they were to be victorious. And then on the other side of things, Arizona, right? That's the other potential matchup here. Arizona is more man coverage, but still you're not even talking about none of their top corners nobody follows. They don't have a corner like that on this team. It's Marco Wilson, Robert Alford, and Byron Murphy.
No more Patrick Peterson, that's for sure.
No more Patrick Peterson. Yeah, those days are over for them, him in his prime. And they're not even, none of those corners are even 30% of the time are they man. So you were talking about 2 zone-heavy teams in this next matchup. That will be the way the game is played. Now, there's a lot of differences to zone. It's not that static, but I just want to give people that example. Defensive game ball that I'll mention here. I had it in my head. Thought Winfield was fantastic. The sack was a big play in this game. Edwards, obviously, it should be everybody's game ball probably. But actually, you know what? I'm going to leave Winfield. I'm going to go with Devin White because I've been hard on him. I think rightfully so, absolutely deservedly. But he played well, and I want to make sure I give the opportunity to be fair and balanced. Yeah. And Devin played well in the beginning of this game.
Really
for sure. He was out the first 3 quarters. He was great. He flew around. He was good in coverage. He made tackles out on the perimeter. He finished in space. I thought it was Devin White at his best in the playoffs. It's what they needed. I told you guys, even after the couple of the rough plays the other week, there were flashes that he was maybe going to get there.
Yeah.
He made some good plays last week. There were
he was really good as a blitzer in the second half. I mean, he had 3 quarterback hits right up the middle. That's when Bowles decided to blitz White up the middle when the score was a little out of hand. I think I agree with you, John. Like he was trying to go for the jugular, try to get that nail in the coffin with those White blitzes. And I think for the most part, they were successful.
Yeah, and Rich Cornelius says we hit 7K, by the way.
Let's go.
Okay.
So that's awesome. Exciting stuff. If Rich is right here, we appreciate the congratulations there, Rich, for sure. But yeah, that's exciting, man. 7K. Yes. And we got from 6 to 7 in like this month,
really
basically, something like that. It was like 6 weeks maybe. And so really good stuff, obviously. Y'all are great, man. Y'all are truly the best. There's no question about it. And so what's your game ball, Scott? Tell us.
So my game ball is, the first name is Mike. Okay. The last name is Evans. We're going to go with Mike Evans because I have been following this guy every second of his career since his first round draft pick in 2014. I saw this version of Mike Evans a long time ago. A lot of Buccaneer fans that remember that certainly did. I mean, this guy was the passing game. He was the offense for so long. So now that they need him to kind of resume that role, and he even kind of out-targeted and outshined Gronkowski today, that might not be the case every week from here on out, but certainly was the case today. This guy stands and delivers, and he just made big play after big play, first downs and a touchdown. So he definitely gets my game ball on the offensive side. Now, the defensive side of the ball, his first name is Mike, and it's Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards. So we're going to go double Mike squared, whatever you want to call it. You and I, John, we've been on this guy since he was drafted by the Bucs out of Kentucky, right? And I remember Jason Light saying, there was a lot of Wildcats that year that came out in the draft. And Jason Light said, we brought a lot of these guys into the building, and we asked them, if you could take one of your Wildcat teammates with you to play in the NFL, who would it be? The answer was not first-round pick, all-SEC, all-American Josh Allen, the pass rusher. Their answer unanimously was actually Mike Edwards, who was a team captain at Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And we kind of see why. This guy is a big play waiting to happen. and came up with a huge interception, bailed out Jamel Dean, who played a great game. It's just that Dean fell down on that play, but it saved the touchdown. Then he finished with 9 tackles. Was really stout against the run, was making tackles downfield in coverage. And I just thought that Edwards played a phenomenal game. And listen, Jordan Whitehead has earned a contract extension. Whether he ends up taking it or whether he ends up getting more money elsewhere, that's going to be determined in March, right? And so you've got Winfield, right, who is an absolute star in the making. You've got Whitehead, who is a perfect fit for this Todd Bowles defense, okay? And then you've got Mike Edwards. Now the thing is you got to find a way to get Edwards on the field, even if Whitehead comes back. Maybe it's the nickel, right? I mean, but Sean Murphy-Bunting's the nickel corner.
Absolutely.
But there's just magic happens when Edwards, Winfield, and Whitehead are on the field together.
Yeah. I mean, at what point do you look at what you're doing and just say, I'm sorry, Sean Murphy-Bunting, but Jamel Dean has played better this season?
There's no doubt about it. No doubt.
You need a playmaker on the field like Mike Edwards, man. And all the defensive rotations, too. Like, he allows you to do a lot of different. I mean, he's deep. Yes. He's in the slot. He's blitzing. He's in the box. Like, he and Winfield are kind of interchangeable that way, and Whitehead
just
is
thinking
too
that,
now, so.
John, you're right. Just thinking that,
Yeah. Winfield in the slot. This was the most we've seen him, I think, in the slot all season was in this game. And I'm curious to look at the tape and check the numbers on that tomorrow and snap counts. By the way, if you're looking for content on this game, folks, as we wrap it up, most impressive, most disappointing, both of those are up by Scott and Matt over on the site. We got the gamer up there. We got the injury report up there. If you're looking for more details and the quotes on those injuries, they're up there as well. We're going to get a bunch of stories. There are a lot of good quotes from players. We're going to get some stories up, mostly for tomorrow, because I know you'll be watching this game and probably going to bed. But we'll get some stories up going out tomorrow. You'll have snap count analysis dropping tomorrow. The mailbag will be dropping tomorrow morning, and 2-point conversion will be dropping.
Correct.
So pewterreport.com is going to be bumping with activity and content. Yes. And then we've got the 4 p.m. podcast again tomorrow. We'll have more thoughts on this game, more analysis on this game, and dissecting how things go moving forward. It's
a Victory Monday, and at 4:20, we're going to be doing roll call. So everybody that's in here today, make sure you join us tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then what we're going to do is John typically comes on and wows us with some sort of amazing Buccaneer analysis and information and entertainment for several minutes. And while he's doing that, I'm clicking where you guys are watching from around the state of Florida, from around the country, from around the world. So be sure you join us. If you're here listening to this podcast, make sure that you join us at 4:20 tomorrow on the Victory Monday podcast here on Pewter Report TV on our YouTube channel. And we'll have roll call, and you get to tell us where you're listening and viewing from. And we always appreciate everybody joining us, as well as the super chats that you guys have been so kind to donate. And sometimes they come in a question form. Sometimes it's just a $5 tip via the internet jar. So we appreciate you, Gizmo Snyder, and everybody else that has been blessing us with the super chats.
Yep, absolutely. It's been great stuff. So we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern on the podcast. Wednesday, Thursday, all 22 content will be up this week as well. Going to be a great week. Make sure you subscribe, Pewter Report TV. Make sure you're checking pewterreport.com. Wants to leave. It's we've been on for an hour, 12 minutes, Callie. I don't know what you mean I want to leave. I love doing this, but this is the longest
pod. I think he's talking about that Steelers-Chiefs game, John. I think that's what he's saying.
Still close.
Do we want to watch this? Do we want to watch what's left of Ben Roethlisberger? No, I don't think we do. No. But no, going to be working on some content and maybe checking out the corner of my eye. So appreciate that, Stephen. Appreciate y'all, obviously. We'll catch you again tomorrow on another edition of the Pewter Report podcast. Out.